Hey, this is Tim over at Transparent Auto Detail, and today we're going to be detailing this Mazda Miata. I'm excited. Let's go get it done. Today we're doing an interior detail on the Miata, 2 stages of polishing, and we're gonna do a little extra bits and try to recover as much of the exterior on this car as possible. There's lots of bangs, it's pretty aged, and we're gonna try to do some things to try to bring some life back to it. Let's take a look at some of those things we're doing. First things first, pinstriping. This pinstriping is pretty much done for. We're gonna try to remove it as much as possible and put on a new vinyl one. That way it's a little bit easier to overlay and put on. We look all the blacks on the car. It's been waxed over a couple times. It needs to go. We're gonna retreat this with some ink and really get all the blacks back to being black on it. Of course, the paint's pretty messed up. It's pretty much faded. There's really nothing we can do to save where the paint has gone, but in some sections of the paint, it's still savable. The one thing we are gonna focus on cleaning the most are the wheels. He has some pretty nice wheels on here, and they're still in a decent shape where we can still save them. So we're gonna focus on saving the wheels as much as possible because they are the newest item on the car. We got a small interior here. We got a Porsche steering wheel. It's kind of funny, but we can see all the dirt and dust just accumulated in all the areas where pretty much this car's never been cleaned before. It's strictly just a track car now at this point, but we wanna make sure we clean all these tight areas, any cracks and crevices where dirt stayed in. We want to make sure we get these jams cleaned out. That way it's just a comfortable car to be back in once they start thrashing it around. So we start with vacuuming and blowing out the car to remove as much dirt and dust from the car as possible. We take the vacuum, try to get it in between the seats, underneath the carpets, pretty much anywhere the tip can fit, we're gonna jam it in there. And we also take our blower, creates a little bit of a vortex, pulls out anything stuck inside the carpet. That way we can vacuum it out without having to put too much pressure on the carpet and rip any fibers or tear any parts of the cloth materials. This car is really old, so a lot of it's already been torn up. The car's frail, lots of things on it have already been fallen apart. It's also a very cramped car, so we didn't want to remove the top because all the seals are kind of old on the top. Sometimes you just have to get in there, get dirty, and get everything pulled out without removing or breaking down the car, just because we don't want to increase any cost for the owner. We don't want to have a detail cost more than what it should. This next part, we start with by using all-purpose cleaner on all the carpeted materials, all the cloth materials, spray some extra water to saturate the area, to help dilute the soap. That way we're not using too much soap. Go in with some elbow grease, just start going to town, brushing to remove as much, to pull as much dirt off the fibers. Pretty tedious process, pretty sweaty process, but it's all we can do to really. Couple fibers here, just cutting them off. That way when we're cleaning, we're not destroying any more of the material. Just using the extractor to shoot water into the material while the vacuum pulls out any dirt that's pushed out from the material. Right here we're pressure washing some floor mats. Floor mats have been soaked in the same all-purpose cleaner we use to clean the vehicle. We let it soak for a little bit just because floor mats take a bunch of the dirt from the driver. Inside's been prepped. While we vacuumed it, we've blown it out, we've shampooed it. Now we're gonna do our prep on the outside where we're gonna wash it, decontaminate the paint, do a good clay bar on there. And also we're gonna wash out these jams. So we haven't cleaned the interior yet, but we wanna get these jams clean because we're gonna be spraying water everywhere and getting the thing dirty again. Prep process starts with the wheels. Just throwing some degreaser on the wheels. We got the wheel woolly going around, just cleaning inside the wheel well, using the wheel brush just to lightly agitate the surface to remove any dirt or grime that's stuck on the wheels. With these wheels, we didn't have to use anything too strong just because they were lightly used. There wasn't any acid we had to use for these or any iron decon. Just rinse everything off and repeat the process. Throwing some foam on the car. We're brushing this car. This car is very old, the paint's very damaged. In order to get this done a little bit more quickly, we're using a little bit more of an aggressive method of cleaning. The brush will scratch your car, but in this car's case, the damage on it is already high, and we wanted to just move a little bit faster in this project. Spraying some degreaser on the car now after the foam. We need a little bit more of a stronger agent to kind of lift off anything on the material of the car. After the degreaser comes the clay bar. We've just refoamed the car, where we're taking the clay bar now to the car, trying to get all the painted surfaces, all the glass surfaces played off. That way we're pulling as much of any materials embedded in the paint off of the car. Pressure washing the jams. These jams have never been cleaned before, I want to say, in the entirety ownership of the vehicle. We got a squeegeeing off the car before we take the air blower. Just helps us remove a little bit more water, so we use a little bit less of the blower. With removing the pinstripe, using a little bit of heat, a plastic razor blade, digging underneath the old paint material, the old vinyl material, and just really trying to lift up the excess of the old pinstripe. We got some acetone to remove any leftover residue from the existing glue. It takes a little bit of elbow grease. It does mar up the paint, but because we are polishing the paint after we remove the pinstripe, not gonna be too much of a worry for the little micro scratches we're creating by taking off the pinstripe. First step is the polishing process. We start off with our cutting compound on the paint. We have a microfiber pad and a cutting compound. With this paint, we're trying to get about 90% of these scratches removed from the vehicle. Unfortunately, this paint has faded and the clear coat is pretty much gone on some areas of the car, whereas some other areas of the car have been repainted with different paints. Even it has some lead paint in this one. So the paint's a little bit mismatched here and there, but with the first stage correction, we're trying to just achieve a solid sheen around the car. And then with our second stage, we're able to bring everything back to one even pattern. Right here, I'm going around the car with a foam pad. With this foam pad, we're using a little bit of a lighter compound to kind of even everything out, to make sure all the paints on each panel match each other. This process goes by a lot quicker just because we spent the majority of our time using the microfiber pad for our first process. Here, I just sprayed some isopropyl alcohol mix on the wheels to prep them for a ceramic coating. Because we've already cleaned the wheels, all we're really trying to do is make sure we get as much grease and dirt off the wheels as possible. I've just layered on the first layer of the ceramic coating for the wheels, and right now I'm wiping it off. And here it is, the final product. After a couple hours of detailing, we got a nice even shine all around the car, a new stripe. Hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you like what you see, follow me at Transparent Auto Detail on Instagram and YouTube. Links in the bio. I'm trying to share more of my passion, so please hit that like button and subscribe button, and of course the bell icon. This is Tim signing out. I'll see you in the next video.